It's a post-Grundy world, and we're just living in it. Hello, pals and gals. Welcome to another episode of XOXO Riverdale. I'm Louie Pearlman.
I'm Kate Vatter.
And here we are, episode 5.
Heart of Darkness.
We are so excited. I'm going to do a full disclosure. I just decided to do this right now. We lost part of this episode. So the beginning of this episode might be a little more speedy than usual.
Yes.
And we've recorded this slightly out of order, but we still just want to bring you the highest quality episode possible. So that being said, we just learned some really, really, really cool news today.
Riverdale was nominated for 17 Choice Awards and won 17 Choice Awards.
So Riverdale won...
Not 17 Choice Awards, 17 Choice.
That's terrible. For audio, that's the most dreadful thing that could be called. That's so uncool. So Riverdale won all of the Teen Choice Awards that it was nominated for.
Which was 7 of them.
Which was 7, which is so cool.
Yeah, it won Choice Drama, Breakout Show, Actor for Cole Sprouse. Lily Reinhart won Breakout Actress over KJ Apa because they were both nominated.
Yeah, but Lily was given more to do, I'd say, so I get it.
Yeah.
She's just radiant. I think
good.
she's going to be a big movie star, that woman.
Choice TV Ship went to Jughead and Betty. Scene Stealer to Camila Mendez, who plays Veronica. And Choice Hissy Fit to Madeleine Petch, who plays Cheryl. And also, shout out to Shannon Purser, who plays Ethel Muggs, who is nominated for a real Emmy for her role in Stranger Things.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But let's get straight into the episode here, because Louie has to wake up real early.
That's true. Let's do it. I mean, but seriously, congratulations to everybody that won a Teen Choice Award.
I can't wait to watch your acceptance speeches that I assume will be excellent from Cole Sprouse.
And also, for sure, congratulations to Jake Paul for winning the Teen Choice Award for Biggest Douchebag of all time.
For Blow My Brains Out,
Yeah.
I hope you drown in a river. Why Jason Blossom and not you?
Yeah, exactly.
I hope we're alienating our cool preteen listeners, right? That's the only people who like him must be like preteens.
Yeah, they're gonna dab on us. They're gonna dab on us.
Oh no!
Yeah.
We're gonna get dabbed on.
Oh boy.
Oh,
yeah, I know a creepy amount about Jake Paul for being a 36-year-old man.
No, yeah, because it sounds like you already know more than me.
I do. I know a lot. Anyway.
Episode 5, Heart of Darkness, starts at Thornhill Manor, the spooky house on a hill.
Thornhill feels like the first supernatural element
yes, for
of
sure.
the show.
They have their own graveyard.
Yes, absolutely. This feels very influenced by the Roberto Aguirre Sacasa comics, Afterlife with Archie and the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yes.
In even in color palette, I feel it's so similar.
I want to say I have a friend growing up, who grew up in a home that was a former funeral parlor. Not creepy at all. This place, creepy as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then...
Cheryl comes down the stairs carrying a candelabra.
Yes, holding the candelabra.
To her brother's casket, which is opened, and there are bloody scratch marks inside.
Yes.
So creepy. And then up behind her is zombie Jason.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up.
Yes.
And this very specifically Afterlife with Archie.
Yes, and also promoted a fan theory that Jason was going to come back as a zombie, a real zombie at some point in the season, which didn't happen, which is good.
So far.
Yeah, so far. And, we have debates about whether we really want the supernatural to be introduced into the show.
Right, because I don't want it at all.
Yeah, and I think it would be cool if it was handled properly, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I want zombies in this show.
Yeah, we've discussed briefly if it is going to be there, it's going to be that Sabrina is a witch rather than there's zombies.
I would hope so, yeah.
Yes. And I want her to be Wiccan, but not like a Hermione witch.
Yeah.
Like a Hermione Granger witch. Not Hermione Lodge. This has nothing to do with Hermione Lodge. I shouldn't have picked Hermione. I should have just said Harry Potter. But
I know,
Hermione
but you
was
had
on the
Hermione
brain.
on the brain.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. Oh, boy.
Anyway.
First the 17 Choice Awards, and now which Hermione?
Oh, my
boy.
God.
We find Cheryl working on a eulogy. But her mother tells her she will not be allowed to speak at the funeral.
That's right.
Which is so fucked up and rude. I'm also not allowed to speak at funerals, but it's because I make too many jokes and laugh when people are uncomfortable.
Yeah, to not let the twin sister of the person that died...
I imagine if it was immediate family, I would be allowed to speak.
Monster parents. Parents on this show.
Fucks up. But then we get Archie Andrews shirtless and boxing.
One of my personal favorite scenes in the whole series.
I think it's all of our favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Because he's getting back in shape for the new football lineup because captains get scholarships. I don't know if that's true.
If captains get football
I guess
scholarships?
just because, I don't know who the captain was my senior year of high school. I know who was my junior high school, and he didn't, but that's because he went to Columbia and they don't give sports scholarships at the Ivies.
Okay.
So maybe they do.
Yeah.
And then, I went to a school that, the football team was disbanded.
At least for this show, I believe it. This is not the most unbelievable thing to me in the show. Yeah. Is what I'm going to say.
I'm trying to think if it came up in Friday Night Lights, and I don't...
Our other good bearing for, sports related.
Well, yeah.
Totally, though. Yeah, of course.
But despite the Tim Riggins jersey hanging on my wall, I don't know.
I just think it's funny that it's, not a real-life analogy from high school. It's what TV show did this work in properly? Yeah.
Yes, well, Friday Night Lights, best show maybe ever?
Yeah, you love Friday Night Lights.
I love Friday Night Lights. I don't know anyone who's watched Friday Night Lights and gone, not for me.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Kevin helps recreate the murder board for Jughead and Betty in the Office of the Blue and Gold, but there's still no leads to who fucked it up.
Yeah.
We don't know who did it. We just know someone did, and whoever it was not at the drive-in.
And then we learn that Betty is going out with...
On a date
with Theo.
Trevor.
Oh, why did I write Theo? Okay.
I don't know, because I wrote Trevor.
Betty's going on a date with Trevor.
With someone whose name starts with a T.
Yes, with Trevor. And Trevor is...
Val's brother.
Brother, yes.
Does Mama Cooper know? And she's out of town. What are you going to do when the mom's out of town? Go on a wholesome date.
Go on a date to Pops. Share a milkshake. Jeez.
But she insists that it is not a real date. It is intelligence gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. We see Archie out in the football field, and he gets sacked and berated.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe the first time we recorded this, we talked about how mean football coaches can be.
Yes, absolutely.
And how, I'm not someone who responds that way. I'm generally someone who needs to be coddled and hugged and told she's doing a great job. But this is, too much.
Oh, absolutely.
But, they all have concussions and won't remember it.
Oh, my God. Well, definitely, but also, this is so sort of the epitome of the stereotype of, the football coach.
But let me say, Coach Taylor in Friday Night Lights would never speak to his boys that way.
Of course not. No. Well, I'm talking like I've seen a full episode of Friday Night Lights.
Get on it.
I know.
Get on it. Coach Taylor is...
Hey, I'm not part of a Friday Night Lights podcast. I'm part of a Riverdale podcast.
Yeah, but also you should watch Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, of course.
What else do we have? Oh, so... This is my observation that they only ever eat at Pops and there's no grocery store, which we recently found out from friend of the pod, Denise. She saw them filming Riverdale at a grocery store, so I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, it's really wonderful that they're finally going to have a grocery store on the show. And I believe that the Riverdale cast and crew were listening to our podcast and were like, they're right. Let's put a grocery store on the show.
Yeah, because it's bonkers.
And when that episode airs, we're going to go crazy.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
We're going to paint the town red.
So thank you to friend of the pod and future guest Denise.
Yes.
They're living in a post-Grundy world.
Mm-hmm. It's a post-Grundy world and we're just living in it. It's a post-Grundy / Franco world.
Yeah, we're just in a lot of posts. There's no pre.
A lot of posts.
We don't know what they're pre, but we know that they're post.
Yeah, totally.
Val refers Archie to a real music instructor who we have not seen yet, but is a monster.
Yeah, his name is Oscar Castillo.
Yes, but first Cheryl comes to the crowd and says, sorry to interrupt, sad Breakfast Club.
Oh, which is so fabulous.
Fabulous and inaccurate, but par for Cheryl.
Yeah, it's funny enough to
But we could. So Betty's the Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
Jughead is for sure Judd Nelson.
Yes.
Archie is...
The Anthony Michael Hall?
No. Archie's taped his buns together. Archie's... Emilio Estevez.
Yeah. Who's Anthony Michael Hall? Dilton.
Oh, Dilton Doily. But Dilton's not part of the gang. I think there isn't an Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh, the only Anthony Michael Hall is the original In My Heart. One of my first ever real crushes was Anthony Michael Hall. So sweet. Yeah.
I will say I do think Veronica is an Ali Sheedy in her own way.
I think that's totally valid.
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm really in love with Veronica as Ali Sheedy.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, wow, I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm so glad I brought that up. It's everything to me, and I'm gonna have sweet dreams because of it.
You should write fanfic about
You should write fanfiction where she's Ali Sheedy in the
Yes,
Breakfast Club.
That's perfect.
Oh my god. No, but really.
Do it.
I'm not gonna write the fanfiction, but like that really is a very congruous role.
Shout out to all of our Redditors. I feel like it might be really fun to do a Reddit thread that is the characters from Riverdale in different John Hughes films, like cast in different John Hughes films.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get on that.
Yeah, but I feel like Betty's just always gonna be Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, but what about...
Who's Jake Ryan, though? Oh, ooh.
Yeah. This is I think this is a question for our fans to answer.
I mean, for us, Moose is Jake Ryan.
Yes. Oh my god.
No question that Moose is Jake Ryan.
Totally.
Oh, man. Wow. Anyway, she wanted to give them a formal invitation to Jason's memorial, because usually when someone in your family dies, you think, quick, let me get customized invitations.
Oh my god. Oh, totally.
But she wants to make it clear that Veronica is not to steal the candlesticks.
Yes, that's right.
Not the candelabras, the candlesticks. You know, the hunks of wax that cost 5 cents? Don't steal them.
Yes, totally.
But she does want Veronica to come sleep over with her the night before the memorial.
Oh, yeah. Alternate motives for that.
Yeah, all this football talk and like getting the captains and getting the lineups and finding out who plays what position after homecoming.
I know, barf.
Get it together.
Makes no sense.
So now we meet Oscar Castillo, who's a dick.
Yes, who I think should be played by what's-his-face from Strangers with Candy, and that'd be amazing, but he's not.
Wait, which person from Strangers
with Candy? Paul...
Oh, Paul Dinello?
Yeah. If this character was played by Paul Dinello, it would be the best. That's
yeah, I think he's show running The Late Show, but...
Yeah, well, too bad. Get Paul Dinello in this show.
Yeah, oh man, if we could get all of Strangers with Candy, like, and get Stephen Colbert and Amy Sedaris especially...
It's a shame that Amy Sedaris didn't play Miss Grundy.
Oh my god.
Seducing Archie.
Oh
that would have been so good.
Oh my god. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about I was talking about how does this get made, and there's some people last name Sedaris who's like really horrific, and they're all just like, don't tell the real Sedarises. Except for Amy. Amy would like knowing.
Yeah, totally.
The Sedarises are so fucked up and I love them so much, and I'll read literally anything they put out.
I know, they're the best.
Shout out to the Sedaris fam.
Yes, Guten Tag, Sedaris family.
Guten Tag, Sedaris. We find out that Archie only started writing songs after Jason died.
Yes. So he's been writing songs for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, for like 3 months, and he's already like, let me go to this college professor with my work.
Which explains why his songs are pretty terrible.
Pretty shitty. Mm-hmm. I wrote and highlighted, ugh, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
And then he tells Archie that he doesn't like his notation and needs to write out all his songs in formal notation by tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Archie's in high school. He has homework. Mm-hmm. He has probably chores to do. He doesn't, like, even a college, like, that's unacceptable deadline for literally anyone.
Yeah, it's so unrealistic.
I can't imagine. If he, like, knew he had to do that ahead of time and still hadn't done it, I'd be like, yeah, make him do it for tomorrow. But this is, like, brand new to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just found out about it.
That guy's awful. He's just another bad adult on the show.
Ugh, he was bad in this, he was bad in Looking, and that's all I've seen him in, and I hated him in both.
Totally. Ugh. Gag me.
Ugh. We hear about Riverdale's founding families.
Yes, we do.
The Blossoms, the Coopers, the Lodgers.
The Lodgers.
I don't think the Andrews, actually, but...
No, not the Andrews.
Not the Andrews, no.
No.
And certainly not the Joneses, despite them being there just as long.
No,
we don't know how many generations back those go.
No, we don't know how many generations the Andrews or Joneses go back.
But we do know the other 3 go quite far.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Oh, yes, so a few months ago we find that Jason started acting weird and secretive, and they stopped hanging out, and he started selling all of his stuff, and I want to be clear, this is a sign of suicide.
Yeah!
It should have been seriously looked into by, if a kid saw it, they should have spoken to an adult.
Yes.
Like, it's a very serious thing, and we just want to get there on
when you're being secretive and you're selling off all your...
When you're getting rid of all your earthly possessions, it means you have a reason for it.
Yeah, and it's...
Like, I don't think, unless he was out there specifically like, I just read this great book by Marie Kondo. I'm trying to...
That's so
I'm gonna
funny.
get out here, I'm trying to spark joy in my life.
Yeah.
and I'm only gonna hold on to the things that give me joy, then it'd be like, good for you, buddy. But if he's like not speaking to anyone and like really withdrawing and
the only way that
stuff,
guy was trying to spark joy was by banging Polly Cooper.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
this is
allegedly.
episode 5.
That totally.
And then we see Val coming and helping Archie write the music, and Fred is tongue-tied.
Yeah! This
He's
is an adorable
starstruck.
Fred moment.
He's starstruck by one of the Pussycats.
Fred loves Val.
Oh, it's so
Not
nice.
in a creepy way, in a nice
but
way.
He's just like
fangirling all over Val.
he's such a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's like invested in his child's life. He's like really looking out for him, making sure he's hanging out with the good kids. Good Fred.
I love it.
Good. And then next is the wallpaper, so.
What about that wallpaper?
Tell me about that wallpaper. First, this house has carpet running in the kitchen.
Yes.
Next, there's wallpaper that is older than the house.
Yes, absolutely.
And atrocious. It's not like, oh, vintage wallpaper, let's put this up. It's like, what? Was there a fire and you had to put the paper up to stop it from spreading? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. It's kind of bonkers.
And like, if you're like, oh, it was just always Fred and Archie, you'd be like, someone tried and failed. But we know that Archie's mother was around until recently.
Yeah. So, do you
like
think
an adult woman chose that?
Or Fred chose it.
And he was trying to change it when she left?
Yeah. And if that was
Maybe.
like Fred's choice, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad wallpaper. Take a look at that, folks.
So much. It's so much.
Oh, I'm glad we addressed this wallpaper gate 2017.
Yeah. Betty asks her dad.
This
help
is
him
a
with
big
the car.
scene.
Hal said that Jason left Polly devastated, and Hal found Polly with slit wrists in the bathtub.
Yeah. And we don't know yet whether this is true or not. And this is pretty serious, whether it's true or not, and will really influence Betty's relationship with her family,
Yeah.
which is very interesting.
A big question that Hal asks is, why does a rich kid sell drugs?
That's right. Yeah, why does a rich kid sell drugs?
And why does a rich kid sell drugs?
Only if they're trying to make a lot of money very quickly.
If they're trying to run from their parents.
Run from their disgusting Blossom parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, another football scene. Oh, this is what we were talking about before. He doesn't know the place. He writes it on their arm. He smudges because he apparently has never seen anything pop culture-wise ever.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I said that, like, all the, like, dumb cartoons flashed through my head. Like SpongeBob probably tried to, like, cheat on his driving test doing that. Because we all know SpongeBob still does not have a driver's license.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, everyone knows that trope, that you write something important in your hand and it smudges off. But
That's
Archie
right.
tried it anyway.
Well, he's the all-American boy, Archie Andrews.
Yeah, I mean,
if anyone on the show's going to try it, it's going to be him.
He was tired from staying up all night writing his music.
Yeah, writing
so he
his
just had
stupid
to
sheet
do it.
music. Yeah.
And you know what? He ended up hurting his hand.
He ends up hurting his hand, which is his instrument to play with. It's a big problem.
My.
I know. My.
And then he still ends up going back to Mr. Castillo.
Yes, he does.
Only to be told his sheet music is sloppy and his songs are juvenile and repetitive. And you know what,
Really?
listeners at home? They are.
Yes.
They are juvenile and repetitive.
Yes, he's not a nice guy, but I do agree with Mr. Castillo when
He's
it
not
comes
wrong.
to this. Yeah.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah, he's the only one that speaks the truth to Archie about
Oh
his
my god, and
songwriting
thank God
show.
he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
boy. Ooh, Veronica eating dinner with the Blossom.
Yeah, I love this scene.
First of all, they eat maple ham.
Yeah, they're eating maple ham.
Because Riverdale was founded on the maple syrup industry.
Yeah, and this is so
Now,
fun.
You're Canadian.
Yeah.
How many, like, is there, like, a maple syrup industry?
Very much so.
Okay.
However, it's in Quebec, not where I grew up. It's in
Right.
French-speaking Canada.
Yes.
But yeah, absolutely. I think parts of Ontario as well. Maple is a huge export.
Right, huge expert, but, like, when I think of, like, a maple syrup industry, I think of it, like, the same way as, like, when the railroads were being built in the U.S.
Well, yeah, I mean, when it comes to...
Are there, like, maple syrup families, or are there, like, people who have maple syrup farms?
Yes, there's people that have maple syrup farms. There's families that have made their money on their maple syrup. There's a maple syrup season...
Right.
For harvest.
Yes.
And then the sort of products that you can make is, of course, syrup.
Right.
But also, like, maple candies
Yes.
as well. and it can be big business for a lot of like, you know, smaller entrepreneurial farming type businesses.
I'm trying to think of like what I'm trying to tie it to.
I have a good friend who lives in LA, but his family has a maple syrup farm in Vermont, and every year he works on the farm for a few months out of the year. Yeah.
So are there like known like families in Canada that are famous for maple syrup?
They're not to my knowledge, but also like, can you name that many industry famous families in the United States? Like, I can only name a few. You know,
right.
There's like the Fords, right?
Right, the Waltons.
There's the Waltons, sure.
But like, there's certain things where it's like,
there's the Kodaks, who are the Eastmans, who were film magnates.
Yeah. I still feel like there's like in the U.S. there's like Mrs. Butterworth.
Yeah. There's
maple syrup.
There's the Heinz family.
Yeah,
they made their money on ketchup.
People who kind of like corner the market on it. Is there like a maple syrup cornered in?
No, I wouldn't say there is. No, not really in our culture.
I'm trying to make your country sound like garbage.
Well, you succeeded. No,
yeah.
You can never make Canada sound like garbage.
It's true. I'm going there in like 2 weeks.
It's because it's a lovely place. Yeah,
Canada's great.
Anyway, but yeah, this dinner party is such a tone shift for the show.
Oh my god, it's so hostile, like me.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's right. Kate Vatter, hostile.
Openly hostile. Kate Vatter loves a hostile dinner because every dinner with me is hostile.
That's right. So it's like, it's interesting. This scene feels like it's more from like a gothic horror piece.
Yeah.
It also reminds me, actually, in a really fun way, of like the scene in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I was about to say Rocky Horror.
Yeah, where they end up eating Eddie. Like they're eating someone that they knew, who they're talking about.
Meatloaf.
Yeah, they're eating Meatloaf. The whole thing's really funny.
Get it? Because it was played by
Meatloaf. Mm-hmm. So like...
That movie, heavy-handed? I never.
So yeah, this is a pretty fun whole scene in the show, and we really get up close and personal with this Aunt Rose character.
Yeah, she's just kind of there in this one.
Yeah, but I mean, oh my god, what a presence. Like,
that flash of red
she's got the flash of
so chic.
Red in her white hair. She really, I mean, I love this. I kind of want a spin-off show with this character.
I know, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What if she was a detective with Moose?
True
Detective Season 3, Moose and Grandma Rose!
Done.
Do you hear me, HBO?
Yeah, HBO. Do it.
HBO!
Print it, cut it. We're writing for it. It's going to be great. I'll cut to the diner.
Just Hermione.
Mm-hmm.
She goes in the back. She hears someone ring the door. She comes out. No one's there. There's a box.
Mm-hmm.
She opens that box. What's inside?
A turd. No. Sorry, I'm thinking of the film Pink Flamingos. No, what's in it is a snake.
I wrote full of snakes, and then realized it was only one, so it's full of snake.
That's right. It's a box that's full of snake. This is quite the threat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really what's cool about this show is it doesn't matter if it's the A plot, the B plot, or really even the C plot. There's a lot of mysteries to be solved here.
Yes.
What's going on with the Southside Serpents?
Who we assume the snake is from.
Yeah.
Based on serpents being snakes.
And the lodges, we don't really know yet.
Right.
It's very exciting, yeah.
But now we have the saddest sleepover.
Oh man, what a sad sleepover.
Oh my god. First of all, we find out that the other cheerleaders are named Tina and Ginger.
Mm-hmm. Who are both characters from the comics.
Are they fellow River Vixens? Are River Vixens in the comics?
No, River Vixens is not a thing from the comics. They're just cheerleaders in the comics.
Okay.
But
they're still cheerleaders.
Tina Lopez is a character I've read a lot about, and I can speak towards her. Her big thing is that she loves fashion. She wants to be a fashion designer.
Oh.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
She's another character from the comics that's perfectly lovely, that on the show has a bit of a bite to her.
In Afterlife with Archie?
Yes. I do think she makes an appearance. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's like with another girl and they're like a thing.
Yes, that is correct.
And they like go off on their own.
Yes, I think she goes off, with, maybe with this other...
With Ginger?
Ginger and Tina, yeah. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think in the comics...
Yeah, I think that they're,
Tina,
they're
is
the
like a
item.
couple.
Yeah.
Interesting, fun.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll put that in the show.
I would love that.
That'd be a delight.
Yeah.
Then Cheryl wants everyone to know she's sorry and Jason deserved a better family.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica says, let Penelope and Clifford Blossom do their worst. And Cheryl's response is, they'll kill me.
Yeah.
And it's not in the same way I would say, oh, my parents are going to kill me.
No.
It's very serious.
It seems really dire. Yeah, what a scary, abusive family to be part of. Yep. Very scary.
Oh, and then who does Hermione call to help with the snakes? Not the police. Fred.
No, why would she call 911 to help with the snake? The box of snake.
First of all, put the lid back on, move it outside yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Second, Fred asks why not call the cops, and she said it's a message from the servants and Hiram owes them money.
Mm-hmm.
And that she doesn't trust the cops.
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
Which Shia LaBeouf also does not. He posted an apology letter on Twitter today I managed to catch.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he realizes he has a problem with authority and he's having trouble with his addiction and he's seeking help.
Oh, good. Good for Shia.
Good for
I'm glad
Shia.
to hear that. But yeah, she doesn't trust the cops. Once again, contributes to the mystery. Why does she not trust the cops? What's going on with that Lodge family other than Hiram already being in jail for the whole season?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to go to the wake, Jughead picks up Betty in formal wear and he says... He's in a suit and he says, this is the best I can scrap together. Mm-hmm. And we both agreed, very well tailored, perhaps bespoke suit for a homeless kid.
Absolutely. Yep, Juggy does a great job pulling it together by pulling well-tailored clothing items out of the garbage.
Yeah, for someone who, keeps all of his clothing in a backpack and he wears the same thing every day, he also has a suit.
Yes. And what a cute suit it is.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
It fits Juggy's
Great,
frame
love
so
it.
well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Archie gives Penelope Jason's captain jersey.
Absolutely.
Also throwing out there, Cheryl's wearing a veil.
Yes, Cheryl wears a veil.
We see her in a black veil, and then it cuts to Archie giving her the jersey, and she says, you're so much like him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this he's a football player with red hair.
Yes.
But I think there's more to it.
Well, I want you to unpack that statement a little bit, because this is something that bothered me about the arc of the show. So, first, talk about what more do you think there is to the fact that Archie and Jason are so alike in certain ways?
I think we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's potentially more to come out about it.
That's interesting in season 2.
Yeah, because they just, other than red hair football players, they seem very different.
But it seems to me like the writers are intentionally hammering that point home because they're laying down the seeds for something later.
Yeah.
But it does not, I'm cool with spoiling this, it does not really get resolved.
Yeah, it does not pay off.
And I hope it does in season 2.
Yes, there's a lot we hope for season 2.
This is true. Including more appearances of Alexander Cabot III.
Is that Moose?
That's Josie and the Pussycats' manager.
Oh, okay. But also Moose.
Yeah, totally. Lots more Moose.
A small thing I noticed is that Veronica often wears belts with bows on them, which is super chic, super cute.
Yes.
I have some myself, but all of her bows are always slightly off center.
Yeah, I think she does that intentionally.
I don't know that she does.
Oh, I think so. I think it's a style choice.
Oh, man, It's a real weird one, and it's not working.
I love it.
Fix it.
I love it.
Oh, it's so, it's not, a purposeful to the side. It's just,
You just think she's...
It's just, she took off her coat and didn't readjust her belt.
Yeah, she didn't look and see.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about Cheryl's black veil, but Cheryl comes back out wearing white.
Oh, it's so cool.
I love
Isn't that the same
love it.
outfit that she wears when she's trying to take Jason across the river?
Yes, I think she points that out.
Yeah.
It's what she was wearing the last time she saw Jason alive.
Yeah, and she gives a killer eulogy.
Right, well, first of all, they play that creepy-ass version of Shout.
Yes, they play a really creepy version of Shout by Tears for Fears.
And Kevin, everyone's kind of gasping on Twitter.
That's right.
And Kevin goes,
yeah.
because Kevin is all of us.
Yes.
We see ourselves in Kevin.
And Kevin sees himself in us.
Yeah, it's sort of set up that Veronica is our window into Riverdale because she came in at the same time we did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she quickly kind of immerses herself and becomes part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Kevin still is at this point looking kind of from the outside.
Or would you argue maybe that Veronica and Kevin are two outsider perspectives that are very much needed for the show to unfold properly, but they're both somewhat outsider perspectives on the events transpiring?
Yeah, I think Veronica just doesn't know it and Kevin sees through it.
Yes, I think that's the way to look at it. I think that's really smart. Yeah. So
great
she
eulogy.
comes in white. She gives a great eulogy, super well written. Kudos to the writers for this speech they give her.
Yes, it was in fact the dress she was wearing the last time she saw Jason.
Yes, yeah, which is really,
With
really,
her
really cool.
single glove because the other fell in the river.
Yeah, and what's the actress who plays Madeleine
Petch.
Madeleine Petch. Kudos to Madeleine Petch. She kills it in this scene. I really like Madeleine Petch on this show in general.
She's great.
I think this is really the first moment where it's like, okay, this character isn't just like crazy, like that there's a lot going on with this character.
Well,
and there's an intelligence we perhaps haven't seen yet from this character until now.
Yeah, and speaking of the actress, I either saw an interview or read an interview where she had originally tried out for a different CW show, one of the superhero shows.
Of course.
And didn't get cast.
Yeah.
And they were like, but hold up, because we have a not superhero show that's super different from the rest that we think you'd be great for. And she's the perfect Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm glad they found her. She really is.
She's excellent.
Yeah, like, Cheryl is a character that has their fans in the comics, but I don't feel like Cheryl's ever been particularly written with a lot of depth, other than maybe in some of the, revamp comics, like Afterlife and the Mark Waid Archie revamp. At least she's, like, got, like, a strong character in that. But that's an example of the writers really reinventing the character for the show and giving her just so much range. And it's funny because Jughead, I've always felt, was totally great in the comics and was actually the character with the most depth. And I feel like they've also done that with Jughead. I think that they're kind of the two standout characters that the writers have done that with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Makes
agree.
sense, right? Yeah.
Yep. And then first, everyone goes to the winter salon for a light supper.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
But also fascinated.
I know.
I would be so excited to go to the winter salon.
And I'd love to see what sort of light supper they offer.
Oh, yes.
Bowls of maple syrup.
Yes. Maple ham, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, Jughead and Betty go to Jason's room.
Yeah.
Because that's speaking to the source.
Yeah.
As Jughead says. And they walk in the room.
And they search through everything.
And then appearing not in the doorway, but from behind the door is Aunt Rose. And she can't push herself. She was there the whole time. Maybe?
How did she get there? We don't know.
Someone would have had to put her there.
Or did she somehow teleport herself?
We don't know.
Is there maybe some sort of aspect to the show? Anyway, yeah, a supernatural aspect.
Yeah, and she immediately thinks Betty is Polly.
Yes. Which in itself is, I can understand that from an older woman.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
her eyesight's not great.
Yeah, she looks like her sister.
Yeah, totally.
And she reveals that she had given her ring to Jason to give to Polly. It's been in the Blossom family for generations. Don't tell Penelope I gave it to you, or she'll come and slip it off your finger. And that your wedding was the last thing I was living for.
Oh, which is so sad.
So sad, but also like, yeah, she's old.
Yeah.
She's sick.
Yeah, she wanted to see...
She wanted to see one of her grand-somethings.
Or whatever, one of the kids from this generation. I get it.
She says, poor child, you lost the love of your life.
Yeah, so powerful.
And then Betty runs.
Yeah, it's too scary.
Yeah.
I would understand that, learning that about your sister.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's also, it's a good writing on that character. She can't see well, but her intuition is all there. She's feeling more than perhaps the other Blossoms are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Penelope berates Cheryl for that excellent speech and tells her that the only reason why she hasn't been shipped to boarding school is because no one will have her.
Okay, so let's discuss Penelope here for just a moment.
Yeah.
So this character, I wrote down with my notes when I was rewatching this episode, like, is she unhinged because she's grieving Jason? Or is she horrible? Is she intrinsically horrible?
I think we don't know that yet.
Yeah, totally.
But it's certainly a yet situation.
Absolutely. I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Betty tells Hal that she found out Jason and Polly were engaged, and Hal knew. Hal knew this whole time, but he had to say about Jason, he and his filthy clan came this close to destroying our entire family.
Yes. For shame.
Because, and this is an incredible story.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl's great-grandfather murdered Betty's great-grandfather because of greed and hate, and they had previously been selling maple syrup together.
Yes! And one family ended up rich, and one family did not.
Right, it is a blood... Well, because of the murder.
That's right.
It was, and this was a blood feud
blood...
before Jason was born.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why they hated them.
Some real Hatfield McCoy stuff there.
Yeah, they stole our livelihood. Not my daughter, too.
Yeah.
Archie gets the captain's jersey. Partially because he had given Jason's captain's jersey to Penelope, and it's the right thing to do, and that's what you want in a leader.
That's correct. Absolutely.
But Archie gives it to Reggie.
Yes, Archie gives his jersey to Reggie, gives away his captainship, because really what he cares about is his music.
Yes.
But also, like, Reggie's so deserving of this. Like, this is all Reggie cares about. You know what I mean? Like, just give it to Reggie. Like, the fact that the Coach Clayton, gives it to Arch in the first place, I think is such a dick move on Coach Clayton's part.
And also, like, he just saw Archie, like, hurt his hand because he didn't know the plays. Like, he's not a good captain.
No, absolutely. I feel like all that Reggie wants is just to play football, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here we come into our voiceover.
Yes.
To end the episode.
Yeah. And this is a good voiceover.
Yes.
This was very good.
Yes, we're told that now Thornhill is poisoning something else.
Oh, man.
What is it poisoning?
Mm-hmm.
And then Betty realizes that whoever stole Sheriff Keller's evidence wasn't at the drive-in.
Mm-hmm.
And then this, we had said it early in the episode wrongfully, because this is when we find out that Hal has the evidence folders.
That's right.
This is when we find out that Betty's father stole the murder board.
Yeah, why would he do this? That is a question for another episode of Riverdale.
Well, because it ends with Betty and Jughead saying, "We have to talk to Polly."
Mm-hmm.
And next week's episode is, I think, maybe my favorite episode.
Mm-hmm.
Faster Pussycats, Kill.
Yes. And do you know the reference?
It's a movie reference. They're all movie references.
Yes, but do you know...
I'm not familiar with Faster Pussycats, Kill.
Yeah, so Faster Pussycat, Kill, just to give it a little bit of context, for next week, is a wonderful, violent, campy exploitation film from the 60s directed by Russ Meyer, who was into making movies with, like, huge-chested women and featured them fighting each other a lot. So it's an interesting reference to use for Riverdale. Like,
yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So that is that episode. Let's move into our power rankings.
Power rankings!
All right, here we go.
This week, bottom up, at the bottom, Fred. Was Fred in this episode? Yes, he was. Didn't do anything. Just fought.
But he handles the snakes. That's
that's
why
true.
He's in the ranking.
He's in the rankings
he
because he handled
the box
the snake.
of snakes.
He's
out
a man
of
and he handled the snakes.
Exactly. He handles the box of snake.
Right? Above him is Jughead.
Yes. Jughead doesn't do a huge amount in this episode, but he does really help with the search of Jason's room.
And also he's Jughead and we love him.
Yes.
Above Jughead is Reggie.
Yes.
Who gets the captainship.
Yes.
Above Reggie is Oscar Castillo.
Yes. For his one and only appearance.
Thank God.
He really drives the episode. Yeah, he would have been a terrible recurring character.
Yes. Above Castillo is Jason. This might be Jason's first appearance on the list.
Yeah, because Jason really permeates the episode.
Yeah.
And motivates so many of the other characters' actions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Above Jason we have Hal.
Yeah, because he steals that evidence.
Yeah, and he lies, and then he admits that he knew all along, and then he gives us the maple syrup backstory.
Yeah, Hal's a real mover and shaker in this episode.
Above Hal, we have Betty.
Yes.
Above Betty, we have Veronica.
Uh-huh.
Above Veronica, we have Grandma/Aunt Rose.
Yeah.
Above her, we have Penelope Blossom.
Yes.
Above her, we have Val.
Yeah, because Val sets all the stuff in motion with Mr. Castillo.
And also we see a blossoming relationship between her and
Arch. Yeah.
And then our number one is Cheryl.
Yeah, this is Cheryl's episode.
Yes.
And rightfully so, and it's so fun.
It's so great.
It's great.
And then our true number one forever and always,
Vegas the dog.
Vegas
the dog.
Vegas.
All right.
Vegas is the best.
What are your crush rankings?
Oh, we're going to talk about crush rankings because we talked about this ahead of time, and Louie and I matched exactly this week. And then we also found out we have the same birthday, so it makes sense.
It means that we are sisters now.
Yes.
We're soul sisters.
Forever and always.
Forever and always.
Our number 3 this week, Veronica.
Yeah.
Our number 2, despite not making the power rankings, was Archie.
Yeah, because shirtless boxing dude.
Yeah. And then our number 1...
Cheryl, because she is in that fabulous dress.
I love Cheryl.
She's killing it in this episode.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Love Cheryl so much.
Absolutely. All right, so now you had a segment planned for this, right? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh,
yes.
So
we'll be touching for now the second time on my fanfiction segment.
Okay, great. So let's discuss. What do you want to tell us about the wild world of Riverdale fanfiction for this week?
Wow. So much, but also so little, but also I can't believe it. So, on our last episode, we talked about Autistic Archie, which was being written by one author. Mm-hmm. Now, what I have noticed is a trend that I assumed was an author, so I followed up, and it is not.
Yeah, it's multiple.
It's not a regular thing. It's not like Bughead or Jarchie. It's Deaf Jughead.
Yes. So what do these stories normally entail?
There's minimum 5 of them from at least 3 different authors.
Okay.
And every single one starts the same, which is that people don't know that Jughead's deaf. He wears his beanie to cover his hearing aids.
Okay.
And then something happens. He's punched. He's thrown in a pool. He's kidnapped. Something happens and they break or they disappear. And so he can't hear anyone, but Archie's there and Archie knows that he's deaf. And Archie, because they're best friends, learned rudimentary sign language.
Learned ASL, right?
Never well. He's never fluent.
Yeah.
And he signs like, you're gonna be okay. And then everyone's like, oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Everyone's like stunned, except when he's kidnapped, and then it's like Fred and FP also knew, but like Betty and Veronica had no idea.
Oh, jeez.
And then it gets better.
This is bananas to me.
It's bananas.
Is so weird.
That like it permeates in a way where it's like not like a fandom contest or like a Big Bang thing or like a certain author.
Yeah.
Or like something that's like sort of tangentially pulled from the show.
Yeah.
And it's not like a mixed with Harry Potter thing or like a mix with the West Wing. And it's never just fully deaf. It's always has hearing aids.
It feels like these authors maybe like were together in some sort of fandom community and discussed some story ideas and then just decided each to run with the story ideas in different ways. Because it seems so specific, right?
What I think happens is that one person wrote it and then someone read that and like kind of absorbed it. I don't think they know each other.
Interesting.
I don't think it's ever discussed. I don't think they'll ever acknowledge each other. Mm-hmm. It's just so like, he's never like a known deaf person. Yeah, he's always like and I don't know.
He's like keeping it a secret,
right?
Which also is like sort of not the way that. Like, it's not a positive portrayal of someone in the deaf community. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. There's a lot of issues with that.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I don't understand how Archie was the only one that knew. Like, they've all known each other their whole lives. It's a small town.
Yeah,
they have these founding families.
Like, Betty didn't know?
Yeah, Betty was their best friend since, like, kindergarten, too.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
I mean, maybe... Even if he was like, if it was like he was born deaf and they're cochlear implants,
sure,
and he's had them his whole life, but like he didn't always have that beanie.
No, well, that's the whole thing though. Is like, how did he get that beanie, and what's the origin of the beanie?
Well, I think he talks. He hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
we do find out, but for this podcast, we don't know yet.
Yeah,
and, like,
totally.
But it's just like I remember in elementary school, there was someone in a different grade than me that had cochlear implants. And, like, at the time, like, they weren't, like, as advanced, so, like, the teacher had to, like, wear a microphone in class. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. There's still some students that have certain types of hearing aids where you wear a microphone in the classroom. Yeah, I've done that in my teaching life. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's less common now.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Jughead is younger than anyone I went to elementary school with.
Sure.
It's like, I just don't understand how, like, people don't know how it always starts with a hearing aid being broken. Mm-hmm. How no one's mad that they didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, does nobody feel, like, betrayed? Like,
yeah, Betty's never like, why couldn't you tell me?
Yeah, or we would be more than happy to.
One of my favorites,
yeah, like...
I think it's the most recent one I read, is that, like, Reggie shoves him into, like, a pool or a puddle or something. It must have been a pool or maybe Sweetwater River. And they get wet and they short circuit. And so he comes out of the water and he can't hear anything. And he knows people are talking to him. And then Archie realizes what happened and starts, like, signing to him. It's all, like, kind of through Jughead's perspective. So he just, like, sees what Archie says. And then, like, Archie takes him home and, like, Reggie's following. And he doesn't know. And then Archie, like, finally is... like, they get Jughead dry, and then Archie's like, Reggie just, like, wanted to apologize. Like, he didn't realize he wouldn't have pushed you if he had known, which is, like, a bullshit excuse. Like, you just shouldn't have pushed him in the first place.
Yeah.
And then it's, like, at the end of it, Jughead's, like, so worried because he, like, can't afford new hearing aids, but it's okay because Archie keeps a spare pair in case this ever happened.
Archie has kept the hearing aids for Jughead?
A spare pair that Jughead doesn't know about.
Okay. Well, welcome to the beautiful world of fan fiction. I mean, this is very fan fiction.
Like, I appreciate and I love fan fiction. I'm not reading fan fiction to find stuff to make fun of.
But this is an interesting trend, though, I feel.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it's always Jughead. It's never anyone else.
Yeah, no one else is deaf.
No, never.
Yeah.
And, like, I just...
Have you seen Baby Driver yet?
I have not.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil too much for you.
He has tinnitus, right?
Huh?
He has tinnitus, and that's why he cranks it?
Yeah, there's a character with a tinnitus, and then there's also a deaf character.
Okay.
And who speaks ASL, and they speak ASL in the movie, and it's subtitled. Uh-huh. And the character is played by a deaf actor.
Oh, good.
And, like, a notable, like, deaf actor who's done a lot of theater work and, like, a lot of, like, spoken word poetry and rap work, actually. Yeah. And just the reason why I bring it up is that it's such a good, smart portrayal that feels very well thought out of, you know, a deaf character.
Yeah.
And then here we have this, like, weird fan fiction that is, like, trying to hit on something. There's clearly some people feel they have this need for this.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting to compare the two, you know.
Yeah.
These sort of portrayals, yeah.
The worst portrayal of a deaf character.
Yeah, it's true. And
there
also...
aren't a lot of, like...
Well, this is something I want to say.
Deaf characters in general.
You know, Archie's done such a good job diversifying its lineup of characters in the last 7 years or so.
Yeah.
I can't, off the top of my head, think of a recurring deaf or hard of hearing character. I think that'd be really great to have in the cast. Is a character who wears implants or a hearing aid.
Yeah, and I would love for it to be
change the tone of the fan fiction as well.
Yeah, I would love for it to be a deaf actor. The only
for Riverdale,
it has to be done well though. I'm just going to reference.
Definitely.
Do you watch Shameless?
I don't.
There was in the second or I think the second season there was a deaf character. Oh God, what's her name? Joan Cusack's is like taking people in her home. She's like running a hospice, and a former prostitute with like end stage AIDS is brought in. He's deaf, and it's like, I mean, it's not a bad portrayal of a deaf person. It's just like a disgusting part that like they auditioned a ton of deaf people and no one wanted it.
Yeah.
So Moshe Kasher took it, who's not deaf, but both of his parents are. He grew up in a strictly ASL household, and he took it, and then people got really mad at him, and he just, like, for a really long time wants to make it clear that, like, it's because it's a shit part and no one would take it. Which also is like, well, maybe that shouldn't have existed. But I'm also like, I guess if you, like, had to get a hearing person, at least it's someone with deaf parents.
Yeah, but these are the dynamics of representation in media that are just require a little bit of effort in order to...
Yeah,
oh,
I
really?
think that's like a...
You know what? If no deaf person wants to take your deaf role,
Yeah.
maybe you need to fucking rewrite your deaf role.
I think it's an interesting situation because it wasn't because it was, like, offensive to deaf people. It was kind of just that it was, like, no one wanted to play... Like, deaf actors, like, only get so much stage time that they didn't want to, like, have their known part be, like, a dying prostitute.
Totally. Yeah.
Which Moshe Kapshar's happy to take.
Yeah. Interesting,
but
though.
yeah, like, I feel like there's, like, probably, like, 6, whatever ABC family of shows with deaf people at this point.
Yeah.
Freeform.
Yeah, which is great.
They had a whole Switched at Birth show that's, like, about a deaf person.
Yeah, and that stuff is really awesome.
Yeah, Freeform is, like, fucking killing it.
Let's get some of those guys into Riverdale, you know what I mean? Gosh, we sure have gone on a lot of tangents in this episode.
I know.
But it's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm excited for next week's episode because...
It's my favorite one.
Is it your favorite episode of the whole series?
Yeah.
Well, let's just, before we sign off, what makes it your fave episode?
I don't know. It's just the one I watch again and again and again. And it's just, like, so fun. It brings all the characters to what they do best. Mm-hmm. It has a big revelation that leaves a big hole, and I think it narrows down and yet opens up a lot of suspects.
Ooh. So get excited for that, listeners. It'll be Faster Pussycat, Kill. Here on Riverdale.
On XOXO Riverdale.
XOXO.
So let's do some shout-outs and some plugs.
That's right.
First shout-out, theme song by Louie Aronowitz.
Yes, which you said at the beginning of the
LouieAronowitz.com.
episode. Yep.
Our incredible editor, Alicia Camden.
Mm-hmm.
Louie, where can we find you?
You can check me out at www.louiepearlman.com. That is currently being revamped into being a site where I'm offering my corporate improv and team building classes and other packages you can look at. And then you can also check out where I'm doing my comedy shows and other projects as well. My other podcast I host, all that other stuff, louiepearlman.com.
That's great. You can find me on katevatter.com, which has a lot of pictures of my cat and some mean things people have said about me if you dig in deep enough. In theory, like, it has, like, my resume and, like, links to my Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. I'm probably going to put this on there. You know,
of course.
katevatter.com is going places. It's just not there yet.
Love it. Oh, well, we hope you've enjoyed another episode of
XOXO Riverdale. Oh.